Howdy. Welcome to What's a Koala Do? I'm Kay.
So here we are, picking up exactly where we left off from the first noob video. And I will be running through some very low risk target bounties. We're just going to knock out several of these. I'll speed through the boring parts, and I did not have audio for these, so I'm muting mini-me since it's pointless, and I'll just narrate these battles and point out some strategies, some gotchas, stuff like that, that I think you should be aware of. Let's have at it. So here we are in the contract manager, and we see we have two options now. We're going to want to select the verified freelancer contract because we're a verified freelancer now. And now we are going to get out of this and open up our quantum travel system and zip on over to the target location. Get this bounty done. When we first appear in the immediate area of the target, I don't see any asteroids here, so that's a little sus. Usually there's a lot of asteroids, so we need to be careful. Slowly drift in, and there we are. We see that the asteroid spawned a little bit late. This is a bit of a bug on the server sometimes. If the server's struggling, it doesn't populate the asteroids right away. So if we're going full speed ahead at that time and then they popped around us, it could have taken us out in one hit. So if you don't see any obstacles, just go very slowly and wait. That's the lesson here. I popped my ping a couple times just to get an idea. It lets off a burst of scanning starting at your location, so things light up as the wave goes out, and you get an idea of how far away all these visible objects are from you. Helps with 3D awareness. We're going out along the edges of the asteroid field, and we're kind of moving out parallel to our actual line to the target, so that when I stop, I'm sort of looking at the target perpendicular to my initial line of travel. I see that I have a clear shot all the way through the asteroid belt to another space where there's no immediate asteroid. So I go ahead and go all the way through to get closer to the target while still being in kind of an empty area. He fires a missile at me. I let off a couple decoys so that it doesn't hit me. And now I'm on the opposite edge of the asteroid belt, and I'm waiting for our target to come closer to me. I want to kite him out, pull him out of the asteroid field so we can fight out here where it's much less dangerous for me. He's AI. He doesn't care about his well-being. I myself don't really want to die, so yeah, let's fight out here in the open space. I see that he is using a Gladius, which is a very good fighter, a good ship. He can potentially move as quickly as I can, and he will have better armament than I will, but it's AI, so we're at the low risk target level of bounty hunting, so he's not going to be following too complex programming. I was able to lead him and finish him off, and bam, we just got paid 4,000 credits. So I open up the contract manager, and I'm not seeing the next bounty of the type that we want. So we're just going to fly to Grim Hex, get closer to that immediate area, and then we'll check the contract manager again. And bam, there we are. VLRT, that's what we were hoping for, and we can move on to our next contract. I was not seeing a path directly to the target, so I needed to go into the map. I needed to locate it, and I needed to set a route. And that made the orbital marker appear for us, so we can use that as a halfway point to get to our target. Okay, here I go ahead and shoot through the asteroid field to come out on the underside, and then fly closer parallel to the initial line, and then turn and face my target perpendicular to my travel line. Just trying to always stay out of the asteroid field if I don't need to be in the middle of it, and then I wait for my target. Or in this case, he was waiting for me. Already there. That's nice and convenient. Oh, disappeared, came back. Launching some missiles at me. I need to go ahead and drop some decoys. So there they go off. I'm safe. And let's get in there. The target keeps popping in and out. That is not a good sign. There's a possibility of the server pooping all over itself. So I have sped up this battle significantly because this M50 interceptor ends up being a real problem for me. It is possibly the fastest, most maneuverable ship in the game, but it's made of paper. The problem is the server's also doing a weird glitching thing where it keeps resetting the target. You'll see in the bottom right hand display that I have on my ship, as I'm working down the shields and then start hitting the target, periodically it will just completely blank and you won't see a target at all. And then it will come back with full everything, full shields, full hull. So I'm having to basically fight this thing over and over again until I can land enough ideal shots in that narrow window before another reset. It takes forever. I don't know, 10 minutes maybe not quite 10 minutes to kill this little ship. Eventually I do nail it and we can move on. Whew. Sweet relief. So we're going to go into our contract manager, locate the next VLRT, accept that offer, open up our travel system, and we're going to find that we need to use a jump point again to get from A to B. So we find we do have a orbital marker already. We use that and we get into our target again. The point of this is to just keep doing those bounties back to back as quickly as you're able. We want to work on our space combat skills, and we want to make money as quickly as possible. If you do these back to back, bounty hunting ends up being one of the most profitable gameplay loops. Okay, as we advance on our target location, in this particular instance, we'll find that the ping is no longer working. It's another bug that pops up occasionally, which means I can't necessarily get a definitive readout on the distance to each of these asteroids. It hinders 3D awareness a little bit. Yeah, see, when I did a pulse of ping, all it's showing me is mineral clouds. It's not outlining the asteroids in a radiating fashion so that I can determine distance. We just gotta be careful, stay on the outskirts of the asteroid belt, do our normal pattern, fly along the edge, then work our way in at a more severe angle. And also I think this particular target took a little while to spawn in. He's coming in hot, throwing some missiles at me. I throw a couple decoys out. I'm just fine. But obviously he's onto me already. Radar locked. He's closing the distance, and I'm just kind of waiting him out at the edge of town. Be patient. Make them play your game. Don't go in and play their game. All right. We really pick them apart. Hurt those shields on the very first pass. And that was a very easy bounty. A welcome relief after that M50 interceptor, let me tell you. There is another issue here at play. Because the server, I guess, is lagging at this point, it is not giving me credit yet for killing the bounty target. And what we should do in this case is when you go in for a bounty, you should wait for the location marker to refresh so that it's directly on top of the target when you're fighting it. If the target appears in a different location than where the map marker is, then that means the server's out of sync. You should wait for it to refresh and sync up. That means you might have to dance around with the enemy ship for a little while and not kill it. Because if you kill it and the server's not synced, there is a chance you will not get completion credit for that bounty, and you'll just have to abandon the bounty, which is not a good way to go. So see, I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for the bounty completion, and it's not happening. I already killed the bounty, and the quest isn't caught up yet. We really luck out here. It did actually complete, so yay, but I was impatient and I ran the risk of not getting completion. So don't do that. Wait for your marker to update before you kill the target. And I think we are going to fly back to the immediate vicinity of Grim Hex so that we can refresh our list of bounties. So ping is still not working for us, and we're in a very unlit part of the asteroid field right now. It's in the shadow of the moon. So we got to be extra careful here. We're getting into position, and there, Sydney has spawned for us. Hey, Sydney, thank you. Notice that the location marker has not updated yet. It is not overlapping Sydney. Was I patient? I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to get more perpendicular to the asteroid field, get further away from the density, and also come out directly on top of our target. Still waiting for him to come to us. All right, and the marker has updated. It's overlapping our target. We're free to kill this sucker. Come on, get within range, Sydney. Once we're at about 1.6, 1.7, the maximum range of our lasers and the fact that our target's moving towards us means we can start hitting him. Sydney's closing the distance at a decent speed. So I start side strafing to the right while shooting left. And we're going to draw a wide circle around the, well, maybe not too wide a circle, but we're going to draw a circle around Sydney. Sydney stalls out there for a second, so we don't have to maneuver during that. It takes a while, but you kind of want to learn when to maneuver and when not to. If you're just wildly moving around all the time, you're burning up your hydrogen fuel, and you also open yourself up to asteroid collisions. So really, you move when you start seeing them shoot at you. But in the beginning, if you're far enough away from the asteroids, screw it. Just move all the time to make sure you don't get hit by enemy fire. Just make sure you're really far away from the asteroid belt. Alright, there we go. Now Sydney's starting to try to charge us. It's an Aurora, which is another starter ship. The luxury model, it looks like, the L series. We are fighting somebody in their Lexus convertible, apparently. I am not staying on target as well as I would like. So I'm using what's called a lead pip here. I typically use a lead pip. A lot of pro Star Citizen gamers like to use a lag pip, but the lead pip is giving me an indicator on roughly where I need to place my crosshairs, my reticle, so that my shots will land on the ship. It's really just gauging my distance to my target and then our velocities. The fact that he's moving to our left, I'm strafing to our right, affects where it's going to place the lead pip. It does not take into account, however, the projectile speed of our laser bolts, which means the greater the distance you are from your target, the more travel of the bolt will happen before it actually gets to the target, and it could be off from where the lead pip told you. So what a good practice is to get very close to your lead pip and then lead it by a tiny amount, depending on how far away you are from your target. So we nailed that sucker, and we're moving on to our next VLRT. You know the drill. We need to do a mini hop, a jump over to the vicinity. We need to skirt the edge of the asteroid belt and get closer to our target, get a perpendicular line on them from outside the belt. This particular target takes a while to spawn, I think, so I just keep finding a new position, plus I'm just killing time. Zigzagging through the asteroid belt to find nice open pockets. And there's our man Cruz. Good man, out in space with me already. Don't even have to worry about the asteroids out here. He's already in close range. I go ahead and pepper the shields. And look at that. The marker even updates while we started combat. So no worries. Let's make quick work of this guy. So that one was a M5 interceptor as well, but I guess that's the difference between one that's bugged and one that isn't. We made relatively short work of that for my limited flying skills. We move on to our next bounty. We get into position. We do the whole blah, 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 blah. And this bounty takes a while to spawn, so I've sped this up quite a bit. Already we see that Jaime will, despawn. I think a couple times in the beginning, launching some missiles. We know what to do, throw out some decoys. I might be getting kind of low on those now. But yeah, that's not a good sign when it keeps blanking out my targeting computer. See how there's no target there. He appears again, I can lock again. This is how the original M50 was acting, was resetting targeting, and it appeared like it was despawning and respawning. So we'll see how this goes with Jaime. Yeah, so, well, never mind. No big deal there. Let's see what's up next. So we find that we are now qualifying for the next permit. We got to take the permit test. It turns out it's all the way across the solar system back where we started, near Hurston. So we got to play the quantum leaping game. We end up jumping halfway to Hurston Lagrange 5 to circumnavigate the sun. This is time consuming, but we get it done. We fly there partially. We kick ourselves out of it once we've cleared the curvature of the sun, and then we jump over to Hurston, then jump over to the nearby moon, and then jump to our actual target, Malcolm. This is a good time to make a fresh cup of coffee or grab a snack whenever you have to do these long quantum jumps. Or if you're really just tunnel visioned on the game, just open up Urkel in another window and look at what your next upgrades are going to be, or think about your next ship, stuff like that. It is what it is. It's very time consuming, but you know, you find ways to fill that time. We finally get a lock on Malcolm here. He was doing a little bit of that despawning crap. He is in a Mustang Delta. It is the slightly souped up version of what I'm in. Where I have size 1 attrition 1 lasers, he's got size 2 weapons. And then he also sports a whole bunch of rocket pods. So if I'm way too close to him, he could potentially wipe me out with one pass. And there that went. Yay, we've got our permit. We're now certified to do LRT, low risk target bounties. Doesn't sound too prestigious, I know. But we're slowly climbing the chain. Keep in mind, just started this account just under 2 hours ago. So at this point, I decide I'm going to go ahead and self-destruct my ship, so that I can just take a quick trip back to the last place I saved, which is Grim Hex at the medical facility there. Because my ship is insured, I simply just need to claim it, and it will make a copy of the ship for me. I won't lose anything that's mounted to the ship. I'll still have my guns and everything. That's the benefit of insurance. And I didn't have anything valuable on my character themselves, so I don't care about losing any of that. So I end up going right back to Grim Hex. I need to suit back up in a flight suit. I claim my ship, and then I wait however long. I think since we're in a beginner ship, a Mustang Alpha, it's going to be like 40 seconds wait time to get my ship back. Now, if I were in a more expensive ship, you know, some of the very large mobile base type ships, those can be up to like 30-35 minutes to wait for a claim. So yes, I could see that as a loss, and you might just want to go ahead and fly back. But since we're in a starter ship, or any relatively low priced ship, just self-destruct, eat the short timer. And another side benefit is we don't have to restock fuel or ammo or anything in a ship when it's a fresh claim, insurance claim. So this is during patch 3.15.1. That's the way that respawning and inventory is working right now. So maybe in the future, if you're watching this when you're in 3.16 or later, that may not exactly be the case anymore. Only time can tell. But yeah, look at that. We've got our 40-second timer, which I will gladly wait. We can even make it instant if I want to pay a little bit of a wick. But I don't want to pay that for a handful of seconds. We'll just wait it out, respawn, and we'll be ready to go. Like I said, we don't have to restock, refuel, anything like that. No repairs. We'll have a brand new ship, and we'll have a brand new character. Yeah, and there we are. One thing to keep in mind is when you do respawn, particularly after you've killed yourself, you're going to be in the medical bay, and you're going to have a medical gown on again. So make sure and open up your inventory and put on your flight suit and your flight helmet, because we don't want to suffocate out in space, right? Well, that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me on this. You have a great day.